Wild West, Ballad of Kansas. After the fall of Buzzard Junction in the state of Colorado, Leonidas and Kwisatz took refugees eastward, headed towards Kansas City. About halfway there, Kwisatz had a moment. He informed Leonidas that he needed to go find and kill Widowmaker himself. Kwisatz turned around and headed back west while Leonidas took the refugees east to Kansas City. When Leonidas and the refugees arrived in Kansas City, Leonidas was happy to know that word of Widowmaker and his army of the undead had spread and was finally accepted by his people as truth, not fiction. From New York to Boston to Tennessee to Texas, hell. Even good old boys down in Myrtle Beach were rushing to go fight Widowmaker. The military generals took Widowmaker very, very seriously. Those in power murmured about if Widowmaker was a bunch of hoopla, denying some of the Buzzard Junction refugees' testimonies in public squares. But overall, citizens were rushing to enlist in the army and to fight off this threat to the homeland. While the East prepared for what was coming kept going. Widowmaker viciously tore through the frontier, destroying every town and killing everyone and everything in his wake. Every town that fell grew Widowmaker's army by the hundreds and by the thousands. Survivors would follow the railroad and the stars back east and tell tales of the horror that was spreading through the homeland like a wildfire, the likes of which we ain't ever seen. As Widowmaker and his army marched, they followed the railroad that had awakened them in the first place up in the Rockies. And the railroad headed straight towards Kansas City. As they marched through Kansas towards Kansas City, the feds kept track of Widowmaker's path. Leonidas helped them prepare, sharing his knowledge of Widowmaker, the undead, and how to fight him. Some of the dipshits in charge developed a steam-powered tranquilizer weapon, hoping to sedate Widowmaker and harness his supernatural powers. Leonidas knew this meant they didn't truly get what was coming for him and sowed heavy doubt in his mind. Nonetheless, Kansas City prepared its damnedest for the fight that was coming. As Widowmaker approached Kansas City, citizens trained, families prayed, the men fighting got laid. Leonidas knew this was the last chance he had to truly stop Widowmaker from reaching the East Coast. If Kansas City fell, Widowmaker would have a direct path to New York, Myrtle Beach, Washington, the whole nine. Finally, Widowmaker reached Kansas City. Leonidas knew this town's day of judgment was upon him. The soldiers and volunteers fought like hell and gave him hell. They held the line long enough for the feds to fire the tranquilizer weapon at Widowmaker. And they landed a direct hit. It worked very briefly, but then it became clear the tranquilizer only pissed Widowmaker off even more. Since the tranquilizer didn't work, the soldiers fought like hell with the weapons and ammunition they had left. Hordes of the undead swarmed them, and they did all they could. Leonidas fought till the bitter end, but in the end, Widowmaker and his army were too much for the city. Leonidas and any survivors were forced to flee the city. Another battle, another big fat L for Leonidas. As Widowmaker and his army added the dead to their ranks, Leonidas and survivors fled Kansas City and made a direct route for Washington. When Leonidas got there, he felt hopeless. He drowned his sorrow at a brothel and booze and women day and night, trying to forget about his failure at Kansas City. Leonidas had so much sex his first couple of weeks in Washington that he was diagnosed with 4 different STDs. Military leadership kept track of Widowmaker as his army tore through the Midwest. Congress voted in favor of mobilizing the country to war to fight Widowmaker and save the homeland. It was only a matter of time before the Ballad of Kansas came right to Washington's doorstep. Leonidas will return in Episode 7. Welcome to the Wild West. This is Raleighwood.